What is up, everyone? So it's been a minute since I made a video about my watt cycle battery. I do have the 300 mini, and tell you what, just came back from the desert. It is great. But we're going to start this out with how I mounted it to my tongue of my trailer. Pretty self-explanatory. You just set it in a tray. But the 300 mini falls in a weird group size. It doesn't have its own group size. It's just a weird size. So you can't just go off the shelf and grab a group size battery box because one doesn't exist for this size. I did a lot of searching. I was messaging Watt Cycle. They gave me some group size that was meant for a massive battery, but unfortunately that wouldn't fit in my little bracket in the tongue of my trailer. So I'm gonna turn you around. And what I did is I got this Camco double battery box. Let's see if we can, right there. So right there, that's what you want to get. And it fits in this area perfect. Now this would be for like two flooded batteries or two AGMs or something like that. Two 100 watt cycles or similar, maybe the minis, but two of my original lithium batteries that came out here would not have fit in this. So this fits the battery perfect. It has just a little bit of space. I'm not going to open it up, but it has a little bit of just a tiny little space on the front and the back, and the sides, of course, there's plenty of space. And I just put some foam on each side so it wouldn't slide around in there. And this thing is secured. And I was actually kind of relieved because I couldn't find a battery box, and the one that the group size they were telling me to get, like I said, it was going to be a really tight fit, and I would probably have to trim it to fit in this the tongue area right here of my trailer, and I would have all this excess room, and the battery box was like $100-something. I picked up this Camco battery box on Amazon, this double battery box, for $20. So if you're thinking about getting a 300 mini, you have a similar setup like mine. The double battery box from Camco works perfectly for this 300 mini. I think, and I got to check the dimensions again, I believe I can actually fit a 100 mini right next to it. That might be in the future, but I'm going to get to the nitty gritty of the capacity of this battery. Now, I really didn't have a big issue with the original lithium that came on my trailer. It was from I don't even know what brand it was, but it wasn't one of your name brand ones you see all the time. It's what a lot of these manufacturers use. Instead of using like Lion or Battleborn and all that stuff, they end up contracting with a company, and it's like more of a industrial bulk buy kind of thing. So it's not really off the shelf type of stuff. But I don't have an inverter on my trailer, but I was able to run both of my TVs, lights, and heater, and everything in my trailer every single night in the desert. Now, mind you, it's a little dirty in here, but so we do have this 50-inch, which is tied in. It's the Jensen system. A lot of trailers use this Jensen system, which is crap. I'm eventually going to swap that TV out, but you know what? If it works, it works. It's fine. But it works in conjunction with this DVD player / CD player. So you put your DVD in there, plays it on the screen. To be honest with you, I don't know who watches DVDs anymore because everything streams. And I do have a Fire Stick hooked up to this TV. It's just in the back. You can't see it. Actually, you can see the power brick right there for my Fire TV. So I was able to run this TV with the Fire Stick and everything with one of these inverters. Let me grab one, show you. I believe I put one on my earlier videos, but this is it. It's what's the brand of this? Bestech. Not sure what that is, but it's a 300 watt sine power inverter. Now, this thing is perfect for it hasn't, I don't know if it's a pure sine wave inverter, but it does not do any damage to any of my electronics. Everything seems totally fine. And I do have two of these. So the first one, obviously, I'm running in the living room area right here where the kids sleep on their bunks. Those come down. and then they can watch their TV. And there's a lot of times when we're in the desert, sometimes the kids, they just get pooped out because they've been riding their dirt bikes all day, and they don't want to just sit out by the fire with the adults and everything. So they like to come in here and watch TV. Now, there's usually still some partying going on, so I'm not really too concerned about making too much noise. So I do run my mini gen, my little 2,000 watt mini generator. I run that up until we're ready to go to bed. But once it's time to go to bed, and I've been going to bed earlier and earlier at the desert now because you stay up too late, and then the next day's, well, not so great. But so anyway, I shut off my mini generator, and I want to say around 10 o'clock or so when I'm starting to get ready for bed. That way I don't have to go back out after I've been in the trailer resting and have to shut the dang thing off. So in here in the front bedroom, there's a small TV. I don't know if that's 24 or 27 inch. I'm not really sure. I forget the size of this thing. Doesn't draw too much power. But I also run that other inverter. Now, in order to power these inverters up, and I did this on purpose, I bought these inverters for my wife's SUV because her SUV only has the one plug in the front, and the kids in the back needed power and stuff, and we were driving from San Diego to Lake Havasu. It's a long drive, and the kids wanted to watch their tablets and stuff like that. So I got these little inverters specifically for that. And then I've like, you know what? They have multi-purpose. But they plug into a 12-volt source, like a old school cigarette lighter. And you can see right there, that's where I plug it in. And I run the wire on the side of, this is my side of the bed, run it down, and I lift the bed up. There's storage underneath here. And I just run that wire like this across. And I bought the extension, the little extension that goes in that 12-volt thing. And the inverter sits right down here. It works great. And then all I do is run an extension cord up to the TV, and we're good to go. Now, is it a little ghetto? Of course. But that's what I have right now. And because in reality, we're only dry camping and using this battery when we're at the desert. And that's not that many times a year. So I don't feel the need for this big investment in wiring up some type of GoPower 2000 pure sine wave inverter with pass-through technology, blah blah blah. Do I want that? Yes. It's very pricey, and I believe the way I looked at the wiring diagram, I know that the GoPower has a transfer switch in it, but in order to have, just in case something happens and you accidentally leave your mini generator on, you're plugged into shore power, whatever it might be, or your big generator's on, because we have a built-in generator, a 5500 Onan on this trailer, you want to make sure that everything is on automatic transfer switches, and you set your priorities. So whatever you want to take priority, that's how you wire it up. And I believe that you have to wire up another transfer switch with the inverter. But I'm not 100% on that because, like I said, the GoPower has an internal transfer switch. So if it senses power coming from something else, it obviously diverts or does a pass-through, so you don't fry your inverter if you're trying to put power through it and pull power from the battery. So that might be next on my list, but that's way down the road. Like I said, that we get by with our mini inverters. And what I do at night for the kids, just so they don't get out of their bed, because they watch TV at night and then the TV turns off, and then they get up and they got to go pee, and then they go, can't go back to bed, so they're like, okay, I'm going to watch TV. But I do leave this little night light on. It doesn't draw too much, but it's just an LED strip up in there. But I leave that on all night. I also leave my underglow lights on underneath my trailer. Let me see if I can... It's all it is a LED switch, or LED strip, I'm sorry. And it is right there, and it runs down all the way to the back. Back there, it stops right here where the door is. I was going to extend that, which I might still do it, but it gives us that little bit of glow underneath the trailer. You can kind of see it down here on the ground right now. So it gives you just that little bit of glow underneath the trailer at night. So if you do have to go outside, you already have light. But like I said, I keep that on all night. Keep my little night light on for the kids. up there. The heater is, because it gets freaking cold in the desert, so I think it was down in the 30s when we were there just this Thanksgiving break. And we were there for 5 nights. So we were using the heater. The refrigerator also uses electricity because the way that works, and the chemicals have to be excited or heated up and stuff like that, and then it goes through a condenser kind of deal. You can look up how propane refrigerators work, but they do use power. So that has to run all night, even though it's on propane setting, it still uses electricity. And the heater obviously uses electricity. All of those on all night long, watching TV. We have our phones plugged in, because like you saw back there, I have USB ports plugged built into the outlet, same as here. So the kids plug into that, and or the inverter itself, because those little inverters also have USB ports on them. And so what we do is we have everything charged. We have our hotspot constantly powered up, so we have internet, and the Fire Sticks are playing. Those draw electricity. All this stuff is drawing energy, right? And every single morning, I would go over here, hit that, like the battery was fully charged. Boom, generator started right up. I noticed with my older battery, it was getting doing that's all the same stuff overnight. It would struggle a little bit to start the generator. So I felt that I just needed more capacity, and that's why I got the 300 mini, and it has proven itself. So if anyone's looking to get this thing and bump up their capacity in a small package, I highly recommend it. I would have had to buy 3 of the other batteries that I had on this trailer, which are valued at like $1,000 a piece. Ridiculous. I don't know if Watt Power still has, or Watt Cycle still has their sale going on, but I did see over the Thanksgiving break that I think they were selling that 300 mini for $4.99. Smoking deal. And I have a lot of confidence that if I were to wire up an actual big inverter to this and utilize all of my outlets, now we can start powering up, like we could just plug our wall chargers for our cell phones and straight into the regular outlets. A 2,000 watt inverter, probably be able to run the microwave. I'll be able to run my coffee pot in the morning without waking up the neighbors around me, because like I said, some of those adults, they like to party. I like to wake up early because my kids like to wake up early and they want to go rip. That's the whole point of being in the desert. And I have to go outside and start my mini generator or my big generator. If I start my big one, it's right underneath the sleeper, wakes up the wife, which is no bueno. And then if I run my mini one, I'll usually run it like, I usually leave my truck hooked up, and then I'll put it like, so the front of my truck's over there, I'll put my mini gen over there, so that way when I start it, it kind of bounces that noise off the front of my truck and kind of keeps it away from the camp, but it's still loud. When it's dead silent in the morning like that, when the sun's coming up, any little noise, it's like everyone can hear it. So that is my goal eventually, but don't be hesitant. Get yourself a 300 watt or a 300 amp hour 300 mini from Watt Cycle. You're not going to regret it. And if you have a situation like mine where you need to mount it on the tongue of the trailer, or if you have a fifth wheel and you throw it, it should fit anywhere. If you need a tray to fit it, I'm sure they have trays that are adjustable. But as far as a box goes, to keep it kind of out of the elements, because even though the battery is IPX, I forget, 65? I think it's 65, IP65 rated, which means that you can splash water on it, you can get dust on it, and you won't get any intrusion, but it's not meant to be submerged like IP68, 69 or something like that. But I do like to keep it a little protected. I'm sure you can hear that in the background. We got the ghetto bird in the background that, I don't know, someone got loose or something like that. I don't know. Probably a missing child. It happens all the time, but I can hear their loudspeaker over there. But sorry for that in the background, but that's my setup. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Thanks. Later.